we'll make it available for everybody else. Yeah, and then we can kind of get started. I think from judging from most of the people who are on, they are probably aware of what the business improvement district is. We are a specific business improvement district for the downtown corridor. It is funded through the properties in that district, as well as some fundraising and township contribution. It is an all-volunteer committee who most of us on this call are of that committee. We do have an executive director who is the one full-time position, and that is Ryan, who's on here, who's going to take you through a lot of this stuff. But we just recognize that we did open this up to people outside of the district, so we just wanted to explain a little bit of what we are as an organization. We are not, the official township at all. We are separate. Again, we're volunteers from the business owners in that district that have our own board of directors that judge on how we choose how to sort of govern and do things for the district, such as many of the events that you see in the downtown, some of the marketing that we're doing, some beautification, where there are some improvements that we work with the administration to do for ourselves, and obviously lobby for the downtown area. But we really put this together, recognizing that right now we're in uncharted territory. Obviously, a lot of businesses are completely disrupted at this point, and we wanted to at least go through some of these resources maybe you're already aware about, but at least take you through those. And I think, Ryan, from that, I could probably turn it over to you to kind of give the state of where we are right now.
Yeah, thank you, Gene. Again, I'm Ryan Gleason. I'm the Executive Director of the Business Improvement District. And what we're seeing out there is kind of unprecedented. So just wanted to give everyone an update on where we currently stand. Right now, we are kind of acting under Governor Murphy's Executive Order number 104. So what that really means is, the following, and this is, as of 3/16, so March 16th. We all know that kind of things are changing minute by minute, hour by hour. So, we definitely recommend you keeping up with everything coming out of the governor's office and the state to kind of keep up to date on what's going on. But right now, all gatherings of persons in the state of New Jersey shall be limited to 50 persons or fewer. Obviously, the schools are closed, but really for businesses, the main factors here for us are these provisions: all casinos, concert venues, nightclubs, racetracks, gyms, fitness centers and classes, movie theaters, and performing arts centers will be closed to the public as long as this order remains in effect. So, that means closed. Additionally, all other non-essential retail, recreational, and entertainment businesses must cease and must close by 8 p.m. Obviously, there are a few notable exceptions, including grocery stores, pharmacies, gas stations. A full listing of those exceptions are up on the state's website, and we'll kind of go through the different sites that the state is making available with different resources. And finally, as we all know, one of the big ones is all restaurant establishments with or without a liquor or limited brewery license are limited to offering delivery or takeout services only. So there's no more eat-in dining pretty much until further notice. So that's kind of really where we stand at this point. And from all indications is, that's going to be the case moving forward through the next, weeks and months. So that's just where we are now. All right, Gene, if you want to.
Yep. So Ryan could take you through, because I know a lot of people are on the phone. So we posted a link on downtowndenville.com with a listing of all these resources. I think for anybody who's listening, if you aren't on, there is a Denville business to business group on Facebook, which if you are a business in Denville anywhere, you can join. Obviously, follow us along at Downtown Denville on Facebook. We also have a specific group just for the downtown business owners, which you're welcome to join. And again, at our site, everything that Ryan's going to take you through in terms of some of these resources, we've listed as well on the site. And then there's a couple other things, which I guess as Ryan goes down, we'll walk you through some of the other resources that are available. So take it away, Ryan.
Yeah, so the first thing I put on here is the National Main Street Center Hub. And they, as Downtown Denville, we're a business improvement district. We are actually members of the National Main Street Center, Main Street America. And so, Gene, if you can click through on that, they put a great hub together. I don't see it opening up here.
Oh, stand by.
Oh, hello, Gene.
Yeah, I'll be back. All right, hold on here.
Sorry, folks, bear with us.
Okay, so here you go. Surely you can see that. Can everybody?
Oh, perfect.
Yep.
So Main Street, New Jersey, the National Main Street Center. Gene, if you could just scroll down, they have federal and national resources. Everything from what the CDC is recommending to the SBA, your traditional SBA loan program, the toolkit that's been used for emergencies, over the years. I know many businesses are familiar with it after Hurricane Irene. If you live through that, you'll be familiar with the SBA process. Again, more federal and national resources, the U.S. Department of Labor, U.S. Chamber of Commerce, all have some more higher level, just business operating tip sheets and things that you can click through. But really what I wanted to show in the National Main Street Hub is further down, Main Street Resources and Tools. So this one right here, Facebook is actually offering a $100 million in cash grants and ad credits through a small business grant program. They're going to be rolling out the details very shortly. You can click through, and if you want to be eligible for this cash grant from Facebook, you just have to sign up. I believe you put in an email. And this was specifically designed for the coronavirus outbreak. So this one is an interesting one, something I hadn't seen before. But that might be a way to help offset some of the marketing. If you do decide to do some online retail moving forward, this might be an option for you. So that's a good resource there. And then if you go back, Gene, to the hub, how to support local safely. So they have put together a number of marketing content for how to shop locally safely. They have Facebook, profile pictures, images, a hashtag, a slideshow, a bunch of resources that you can put on your stores, social sites, and in different locations to help your consumers shop and consume safely during the crisis. So that's another great resource that you don't need to create it yourself. It's already kind of created, and you can just kind of post it up. So that's really the two main things I wanted to show on the National Main Street site.
Okay, just give me 1 second to go back to our slide. Hold on. Okay.
Perfect. The next thing I have here is the New Jersey Department of Health, and this is a great resource for keeping up with what the actual restrictions are. I know I kind of went through the governor's executive order 104, but this is the site where they will be kind of posting the latest on what is and isn't permitted in terms of a business perspective. They also have a number that you can call if your business kind of falls into a category which might be kind of a gray line, or fuzzy, should I be open, should I be closed? They do have a number there, business operations and guidance. And then they have a number of frequently asked questions. Will the tax dates be extended? How to deal with employees at this time? Just different things from a health and safety perspective. That is what the state is recommending. We are recommending that all of our members kind of follow what the state health department is putting out there. So this is kind of the main hub to go for just seeing what the different guidelines are.
And Ryan, with maybe more on the Main Street site, because that had a link to the labor sites.
Yeah.
When it comes to some of the questions about what to not so much about employee safety, but even just what to tell employees, or
yeah.
Is there anything is it on the New Jersey Gov site that has that, or would it be better to do the labor links?
So I'll go. I think that's the next link in our presentation. Department of Labor info. Okay. Yes. So this is kind of where you can go on the state side. What employers and businesses should know when talking to their employees. And what I really like is this graphic here on the right, Gene, printable guides outlining related benefits for New Jersey employees.
Okay.
If you can click on that, Gene, and open it up, it goes through a number of scenarios related to the coronavirus, and then which of the different things apply depending on the situation. So if a person has COVID-19 or symptoms, they would have earned sick leave and temporary disability, but they would not qualify for unemployment insurance. Workers' comp is still an open question. If a worker was unable to work because of school or daycare closed for a public health reason, they would qualify for earned sick leave, but not unemployment, disability, or workers' comp. If a worker was exposed and quarantined, means open, they would have earned sick leave and temporary disability, open question on workers' comp. So it's kind of a rubric, a checklist that you can go down, basically each different scenario, and then which of the different insurance or workers' comp or disability applies to each scenario. So I thought this was a great resource and something, just considering your employees and what they're going through and having a couple answers on that.
Okay. And then
New Jersey Economic Development Authority.
Yep. Let me know if you can see that.
This is just another resource, a state resource, another frequently asked questions. If you have specific, it's things like, if I have a question about X, which state agency do I call? If there's, are there existing programs to help you maintain your payroll? Low or no interest loan programs that the state currently offers that aren't being put out there yet. So this is where all of that kind of business support, grant opportunities, loan opportunities from the state are kind of being housed. You can go through all this. There's a bunch of different links, and this is the New Jersey Economic Development Authority. They already have some grant programs in place that might be applicable depending on the circumstance, number of employees, etc. But as the state is going to be putting out more support for small businesses, a lot of that will be housed in the Economic Development Authority. So this is just another site to keep your eye on.
Okay. Next one is New Jersey Policy Watch.
This one, what I really wanted to do for this one is kind of show what the state is already doing. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom of this, Gene, these are the different bills that the Assembly has already started working on. I believe most of them have passed the Assembly and they're going on to the state Senate tomorrow. But for instance, I'll run through these pretty quick. Hold on, go back up, Gene.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. And then we may have a caller that could.
Okay, great.
A little bit.
So this, A 3845, it authorizes the Economic Development Authority to make grants during periods of emergency declared by the governor, and for the duration of economic disruptions due to emergency, allows the agency to grant certain business documentation submission deadline extensions. So this is for, the state providing grants to help you cover payroll, or other business disruptions that occur during an emergency. So that passed the Senate, I believe, yesterday, and is going to the Assembly, sorry, and is going to the Senate tomorrow. Scroll back up, Gene, to the second one. A3841 will automatically extend the time to file your gross income tax or corporate business tax return if and when the federal government extends the filing payment due date, which we expect them to do. Again, passed the Assembly yesterday, most likely going to the Senate tomorrow. A3846 creates a temporary lost wage unemployment program and allows persons to claim for lost wages due to coronavirus disease 2019 and employers to pay wages to workers ordered under quarantine by a licensed healthcare practitioner. And that would be an appropriation of $20 million to put in that unemployment program. A3844 concerns business interruption insurance during coronavirus and the 2019 state of emergency. So the resolution indemnifies the insured of businesses with less than 100 eligible full-time employees for any loss of business or business interruption for the duration of the declared state of emergency. A3848 concerns time off of work in connection with infectious diseases. The bill prohibits an employer during a public health emergency declared by the governor from terminating or refusing to reinstate their employees. So just some protections for employees with that bill. And A3865 limits return of items purchased from retail food stores under certain circumstances. The bill would prohibit retail food stores to accept the return with limited exceptions of groceries or other foodstuffs purchased during the outbreak. So those are kind of the things that are in the hopper now with the Assembly. And I know we have a caller who might.
Well, yeah, I was just going to say we may have Assemblyman Bergen on the line. And Brian, I don't know if you were able to join, and if you.
Yep, I'm here.
So I didn't know if you would like to add. Welcome, thank you for joining us, by the way. If there was anything else that you maybe could add to some of the stuff that we just talked about in the Assembly, or as well, my understanding that you might be working on some things yourself.
Yeah, no problem, Gene. So just real quick clarification, Ryan, there's one bill that you mentioned, which was this A3844, the one that you talked about covering business interruption insurance.
Yeah.
We actually did not vote on that on Monday.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and I don't anticipate us taking that up, to be honest, or the Senate, for reasons I can discuss later. But that one's off the table. But yeah, everything else you mentioned did go through on Monday. And I just want to fill everybody in briefly on something I'm working on in the hopper. And hopefully, if you have an opportunity to advocate for it, you might try and do so. So I started last Friday really trying to push for as much of your tax dollars to go back to small businesses as possible. And I ultimately had to pare that down to just requesting a sales tax holiday for the duration of the state of emergency. So that bill that I drafted, I think it's 3866. I tried to put it on the floor for a vote. Yeah, unfortunately, they wouldn't move it for a vote yesterday. But I'm trying to work with Senator Sweeney and some other people on the Senate side, if possible, to get this thing introduced by the Senate. So that's for a sales tax holiday for the duration of the state of emergency. But just today, I have a bill drafted to take it one step further. So, and the genesis of this, I'll tell you, is that all the bills that you mentioned, Ryan, there was a lot of stuff we voted on that was pretty solid on Monday that will help. But for all of you on the phone who are business owners, none of that money is going to be in your pocket tomorrow. or next week. It's going to be clunky to get it, from my opinion. For the 0% business loans, there's going to be a process of which isn't currently defined. For the financial injection you mentioned, the $20 million, that's a reimbursement. So you have to show the costs, and you'll get reimbursed for them. Those are good pieces of legislation and very well needed, but they don't actually put the money in your pocket tomorrow or next week. So the sales tax abatement or holiday, I'm hoping will get people out to spend money, or at least spend money with businesses, because the bill is for a business with 100 employees or less. So all that sales tax you would not have to collect. And then if you, as a business owner, wanted to raise your prices by that 7%, you could get the money back in that way. But just today, I started on drafting legislation, which will be done tomorrow. And that piece of legislation calls for a complete waiver of sales tax remittance for small businesses, 100 employees or less, for the first quarter. And those of you on the phone who are business owners, you're probably keenly aware that your sales tax remittance is due April 20th or so. So what this bill would do, if they do take it on, is that money that you've collected and put aside for sales tax, you would not have to pay in April, and it will be your money. And the idea there is to help you bridge the gap in the short term while these longer term solutions take effect. And then for those of you on the phone who pay your sales tax monthly, which is probably quite a few of you, if you've already paid the January and February sales tax payments, instead of giving you that money back out of the state's coffers, the state would extend a credit to you. So your next filing, you would not have to remit that portion of your sales tax. And guys, I know this isn't everything we can do for you, but from my perspective, it's a couple things with the best chance of moving fast enough to make a difference, and that's why I've been pushing for those couple pieces of legislation. But as always, I'm very open to whatever you have or whatever ideas you have. This idea for the sales tax holiday and the sales tax remittance came from Paul Rankin, who owns Uno's Pizza in Clifton and lives in Indian Lake. Yeah. So these ideas will come from you, and anything else that you think of that I can help with, I'd be happy to help. That's all I have, sir.
Assemblyman Bergen, what would be how's best for anyone to reach you? Email or any best way you'd want somebody to reach out?
Well, anybody on this phone can call me, call my cell directly, shoot me an email. If you don't have my cell number, I'll give it right now. It's 973-202-0634. Give me a call on my cell if you got an idea or I can help you. As you know, Tom Andes, who's also the mayor, is the chief of staff also, and he's got the resources of the assembly office behind him, in addition to being the mayor. So, or you can shoot me an email. Basically, I'm just here at your disposal. Anything I can do to help.
Okay, cool. That's so 973-202-0634. Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I will post that now to the chat for everybody following along on the computer. Yeah, that's super helpful. Actually, number one, thank you for joining, number one, and thank you for all that.
Yeah, thank you so much, Assemblyman. And, I think, as you said, they're kind of short-term solutions, but I think they're the Band-Aids that we kind of need right now, and just to hold folks over for a little bit while, more substantive stuff is coming. Moving forward, Gene, if we can go back to the presentation.
It's kind of fun. It's like a radio show.
Yeah.
Thank you, Assemblyman Bergen, for joining us.
So this is a directory put together by our friends over at Two Girls Media. They've done a great job of town-wide, not just in the downtown, but town-wide, putting together a list of restaurants and retailers who are either offering specials or, it's just kind of a resource of what specific businesses are doing whether they're closed, whether they're open, whether they're taking online orders, et cetera, et cetera. You know, I give them a lot of credit for putting the legwork into this in such a quick turnaround. So this is a resource, you know, which I'm not sure if it will be updated, you know, every day or whatever the case may be, but I think it's a great resource for what's going on specifically with township-wide businesses right now. You know, and you know, a great resource for consumers. You know, if you put it up on your shop's pages and share it around, a great way to support your fellow business owners. So wanted to give them a lot of credit for putting it together.
Yeah, if you're not on there, or if you have any updates, Bridget is actually on the call, and also another shout out.
Oh, great.
They, it's being updated multiple times daily. Just
there you go.
If you go to the site, which is at twogirlsmedia.com/support. If you go to that, there's even a link there if you have to update the information. We're probably also, you know, we'll try and publish anything specific new on downtown. If you have like a special or something, like, you know, tag us, hashtag us, all that kind of stuff. We'll try and promote that. You can email or message Bridget. She's very available on Facebook. Any of those sites, the Denville Business to Business group, even the Denville residents page. And also a shout out to them because they did offer their meeting space tonight for me to come to do the video conference in, which I ended up not needing to do because I kicked my kids out of the house. We have a dog here. So I didn't need it, but grateful that they offered that. So definitely get on that. We'll try to, as well, on our handles, Downtown Denville, all that kind of stuff, try and update things as well. And then our site does have the specific downtown directory. Obviously, we're a business improvement district for the downtown, but I think at this point, we recognize that whatever services we can do for everybody, we will do our best to help.
Excellent. So at this point, we'll turn it over to you, Gene. This is kind of more promotional marketing things that businesses can potentially be doing, you know, moving forward.
Yeah, just a couple of things, again, that trying to highlight. Again, I mentioned those groups that I think you should join so you can exchange. Again, there's the business to business one, there's the downtown business ones. But if you even just look at what, you know, some people are doing, and another shout out again to Two Girls Media, a downtown business who they're offering services if anybody needs help for general marketing stuff, you know, setting up, you know, website audits, setting up your social media presence as well. Also, if you're on any of those groups, John Sable, who's a Denville resident who has a lot of experience and owns a business in search marketing and organic search and paid search marketing, SEM and SEO. He has offered businesses, you know, both of them offering these, you know, free of charge to help. So definitely take those up. If you look at just what some people are sort of doing, sorry, I advanced my slide too quickly. Online shopping, obviously, use social media to spotlight your specials. Some things that's been really creative. If you're looking at just social listening right now, and I actually work in advertising full time and in marketing, so naturally, just every day, my days have been flooded with this. There is such a huge, so many people are at home. Everybody is watching online video content. Some stores have gone to like almost home shopping network type videos that they're just posting, showing that they have something that they could have ready for curbside delivery or something like that. Again, nowadays it's easy on your phone. Literally, you could post a video to just say, here's what you have available. Here's what your specials are. You know, a lot of, you know, Mancino's and the pizza places, they're doing stuff for people to do at home, a pizza making kit. Mary Shadbolt has these art kits for the kids that are at home. It's also a good opportunity for a lot of concern of what are you doing with your employees. Most likely some younger employees probably very well versed in social media, maybe consider using their time to help you set up some of that stuff. A lot of people are doing that. I wasn't sure if somebody had a question. I thought I heard the phone. As well, people are stuck at home. A lot of people are cleaning out their houses. A lot of people are redecorating. Try and leverage that kind of stuff. Believe it or not, people are rethinking their wardrobe. Comfy clothes are probably really popular right now. So that kind of stuff we just wanted to share to show you what a lot of other people were doing. And again, it's a major disruption. It's a major reinventing. That's basically it on the sort of, I think, the marketing side. The other thing we just want to note, and again, I can say this from the social listening that I'm doing promotionally or so professionally in my regular job, be very careful with, how you're posting. It is a really sensitive time for people right now. There is a bit of a backlash to bigger brands that are looking too salesy right now. So, after I kind of just listed some of that neat advice that others are doing in that previous slide, be really careful, because if you're coming across like you're trying to make a buck off this, that obviously can be the wrong thing. There's nothing wrong with making a buck. We have to survive, but just think about how that message is and try and provide added value. I think some of those examples of pizza homemaking kits or artwork at home, that's a great example, right? You're giving something that is truly valuable to somebody, and there's nothing wrong with obviously having to charge for something like that. And then I mentioned before, leverage that social media. Feel free to hashtag downtown Denville. We've got pretty good, we know we're a really supportive town, so people do follow that. It's a pretty equitable hashtag and we'll retweet and repost. And I know all the other people in town, including, Bridget and everybody who's running some of these social sites. And then, maybe an opportunity for some of the webinars that Ryan mentioned. I know it's hard for salons, gyms, that kind of stuff. Obviously a lot of them are trying to do some of these online classes from a salon standpoint. That's tough. But again, I've noticed that some people are doing sort of kits. I have a coworker that's like, oh my gosh, you're not going to recognize me in 3 weeks because I won't be able to get my hair done and colored. But some of the salons are saying, okay, well, can we do something for home? And, maybe they're literally going to give them a kit of some supplies, but they're going to give them very specific instruction on how to do it. So just some ideas that are kind of going on out there. Really tough time. I think
and Gene, if you go back on the webinar front, from our perspective as downtown Denville, we want to put together, whether it's weekly or bi-weekly, a number of webinars, how to set up an online storefront, how to navigate Facebook Marketplace if you're a retailer, maybe the advantages and pitfalls of delivery, et cetera, that if people haven't done that before. But one of the things that we do want to do is, really be responsive to what our members are looking for. So if you have an idea or are looking for guidance on some kind of process or technology or way of doing business that you haven't been involved with but want to learn more about, we're open to finding the relevant expertise and put on a webinar that might be educational to help us get through this. So it's something that we're looking to do, and we're definitely looking for suggestions on topics moving forward.
Ryan, maybe you want to touch on some of this last stuff, which some of it you might have touched on already, but.
Yeah, so this is just some recommendations that, we've been in touch with the Morris County Chamber and the Morristown Partnership. Some of the things we're looking for, in terms of support from local government. It was great to hear Assemblyman Bergen mention a sales tax holiday, because that was one of the first things that kind of we thought of when we put our heads together, late last week. An idea that the Morristown Partnership had that I thought was interesting is they're looking to do maybe virtual job fairs for census jobs, and other remote job opportunities for employees who may kind of be disrupted. If local businesses are closing, or if you're, if you have to close your doors, but you want to send your employees at least something to kind of maybe hold them over. This might be an idea that the Morris County Chamber takes on. They're looking to do how-to Zoom meetings on the community development block grants, the process and eligibility to access funds for really two things. It's avoiding job loss caused by business closure related to social distancing. So that's, providing short-term capital, to able to retain your jobs and make your payroll, keep employees on. There are community development block grants that are available for that. So they're looking to do, conferencing and webinars on that process. And then also to provide technical assistance, grants, loans, to really stabilize businesses that provide medical, food delivery, cleaning, and other support services that are deemed essential during the crisis, so that there's money available there as well already. So they're looking on developing some webinars for that. A big one, and this is gonna, obviously a business to landlord relationship, but what we can do from our perspective is push our state and federal government to do some kind of temporary rent or mortgage relief, easing lease restrictions, things kind of longer term, looking towards the horizon, what could potentially help get us through this. Obviously rent, one of the largest expenses for employers. And then obviously for our landlords, it's either mortgage or property tax payments that are a big chunk of that as well. So just kind of pushing our government folks on those issues. Obviously, we're open to other ideas of, bringing to our elected officials and government agencies. So if there are things that that would definitely help you get through this, we'd love to hear it. We'd love to vet it. We'd love to bring it up the chain and see if we can't start a conversation. So those are just some recommendations for additional support from government.
I just want to move a little quick, because now that I think about it, I believe, unfortunately, the challenge with Zoom is once this meeting hits its time, I believe it just ends us. So I'm trying to make us go quick, but I want to just turn it over, because I do think that the mayor had hopped on. I just want to turn it over to him. But just really quickly, hoping that we're back soon. We just wanted to point out that we had a lot of initiatives that obviously now we would gear up. Gosh, I hope by June, but it could be longer. Center Street live music on Center Street once a month. Big push that we're going to do for sidewalk sales this year, including the block party and then restaurant week in September and Pink Witches in the holiday season. So these were things that we had funded some real advertising for, radio ads, banners, billboards, all that kind of stuff. So hopefully if we get back quick, I'm hoping in a couple months, our next challenge is going to be how are we going to handle that influx of now people wanting to come out and support, but we'll just take that day at a time. And then the other thing I just wanted to do is I do believe that the mayor had popped on, and I wanted to give him a chance to just, if he had anything he wanted to say. Let me see. I think he is unmuted, Mayor. Let's see if he's still there. May not be there. We see the note about parking, and we were working very heavily on that, Christina. I think, unfortunately, yeah, now there's a lot of stuff. Once we get open again, obviously we're going to tackle that. That has been a big initiative of ours. I think the mayor may have dropped off, but any quick questions? Maybe we won't get kicked off, so we'll open it up for quick questions for anybody who can speak via phone. Everybody's good?
We covered it all, Gene.
I know. It's always hard to read a room when there is nobody in the room.
Great job, you guys. This is Christine. I just want to say thank you for pulling this together. I know a lot of us have some questions that are going to be answered in the next, few weeks or so, but it's nice to be able to know that we have a forum and resources to reach out to. So I appreciate this gesture.
Yeah, we'll try and keep doing stuff like this. It's actually probably better for everybody because it's usually hard for any business owner to actually get to like a breakfast meeting or something. So maybe this is actually an easier format that we should have instituted sooner.
I have a question about food. Susan Banks.
Yeah.
I have all the food from Ireland. I'm a Class A. Am I allowed to do curbside pickup for that all packaged food?
You know what? Why don't we look to find out for sure? I don't know. Is there any confirmation that we could get on that, Ryan? I thought that was allowed, but I don't want to be speaking out of turn.
I have 1 million Irish Easter eggs.
I can follow up with the county health folks, Sue, and get an answer for you.
Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Yeah, Kristen.
And thank you for tonight. This is just, I couldn't even write this stuff down fast enough. This is excellent.
And
thank
we'll
you.
we'll send it out to everybody too, so that you can click through and see everything that we talked about.
And somebody mentioned, Kristen, I think mentioned that Jen at Dash of Time has the same, and she seems to believe that it is definitely allowed. So if just seeing what other people are doing, if that helps.
Yes, I will confirm.
I think the mayor is still on, so let's see if we can hear him. Tommy.
No, I think he.
Oh wait, hold on. How about
there,
that?
there
I'm
you
on. I hear you.
My mute is off.
I got you. We
You
hear
got me
you
now?
Yeah, we can hear
we
you.
got you.
Oh, that's good. As far as Sue's question, I don't know the answer. We're going to have to check that with Laura. But I wanted to say that we're here for you guys. It's a trying time, but we'll get through it like we always do. And with my other job with Brian, I'm getting a lot of information that other mayors wouldn't get. I'm getting it firsthand. And we're going to be putting that to good use. And we'll just stay calm and we'll get through it. And if anybody needs me, I'm in the office. I'm going back and forth between the two offices, and sooner or later we're going to be moving the office to Denville. If anybody needs me, just give a call.
No.
Thank you, Mayor. Any other questions from our business owners on the call? Comments?
Hoping we can get some relief on our rents. I've got 2 rents to pay in town, so hoping I can get a little breathing room on there.
Yeah,
We're definitely going to push on
popular
the
questions of the day. I don't know if anybody has an answer, but I do know with Assembly in Bergen being here, I know that everybody's going to do everything we can.
Great.
Question: we have
Gene
help,
and Steve. Gene.
Yes.
or is it going to get?
Gene.
Yeah, we're here.
Steve Ward posted that for the patrons to patronize the stores and their favorite restaurants by buying gift cards, like we did through the hurricane.
Yep.
It's on our Facebook page.
Anybody else?
All right, like thank everybody for participating. Like Gene and I said, we'll be posting this later, and then we'll also put the slide deck up so that you can click through to the links on the resource page. And as we get new information, we're going to be posting things throughout the duration of this. So keep tuned to downtowndenville.com and also at Downtown Denville on Facebook. We'll be posting the latest information that we local, federal. So take care, stay safe out there, and we'll get through this.
All right.
Okay, thanks.
Everybody. For anybody who was watching on the video, if you saw me, I totally realize now how much I touch my face, and I'm going to go wash my hands, obviously. Thanks, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you very much, guys.
Of course.